No problem. Start the music. Please wait. Let it up.
And thanks for the astronaut.
Good. And so that actually took a little bit longer than expected. So it took us to the tail end of our launch window. So everything looked good, and we're ready to go for launch.
Well, you know the drill. Today we are back.
Yes, and we're looking live now at the
For
Antares
another
rocket, standing ready to launch a Cygnus cargo spacecraft carrying more than 8,200 pounds of research,
This
crew
is it.
supplies, and
After a
hardware
long time of
to the International
troubleshooting the
Space
live
Station. Christina,
stream,
can you tell us more about this Antares 230
I
Plus
have
rocket's
finally got the
capabilities?
live stream to work. I have the technical
Sure. So
problems,
the
partly
Antares
due
230
to the
Plus
connection
vehicle
of my
provides substantial
laptop.
payload performance
But yeah,
into a variety of low inclination, low
Antares
Earth and sun
launch.
synchronous
Rocket
orbits
I've never
and
seen before in my
interplanetary
life, or even
trajectories.
known.
So our Antares has
Cool.
actually been
Really cool.
upgraded, our stage 1 core, which has a
And
lighter composite structure and an
That
optimized
thing
second
looks
stage
pretty
motor.
I
The
can't wait
upgraded
to
stage
see
1
it
core
launch.
allows
And
the
like
Antares
the
engines
last
to
time I've
perform at
seen a
full
launch from
thrust
Volvo
throughout most of the
facilities
first stage
for that,
profile. The 230 Plus
for
vehicle also has
that
a cargo
Aurora
mass flexibility in
display.
which the Cygnus mass can be defined
I
no
forgot
later than
its
24
name, but
hours
yeah,
prior to
that
launch.
Aurora display science
The Antares
experiment
230
from
Plus vehicle also
NASA.
has the ability to perform late load
But
operations by the unique pop-top fairing
honest,
as the nose of the vehicle
yeah,
is able to be removed for
right.
the late cargo load.
It's cool, and I think it's fun.
On my mark, 3,
Well, I guess
2,
And the
I
vehicle
guess I
rolled
just
out
missed
to
a
the
couple
pad
minutes of
Friday,
the live
August
stream trying to
6th. It was then
troubleshoot.
rotated
I
horizontally
was
for
supposed to
some
be
low
live
cargo,
at
like you're
15,
saying
so
now,
the
and then it was
clock
returned
is
to its
totally
vertical position where
outdated.
it sits
And
now
that's just that.
yesterday. So,
Ooh, some
Christina, can you
photos.
walk
Cool.
us through the
I
cargo
cannot even
loading
hear what you're
process and the
saying,
load
but I
capabilities?
guess you can. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna leave
sure.
you
So as I mentioned
for
before,
a
one of the
second there to
unique
fix the
features of the
countdown for
Antares
the
230
launch.
Plus vehicle is
Right.
that there is the ability to do a late cargo load 24 hours before launch. The vehicle has a pop-top fairing where the nose of the rocket is able to be removed. Northrop Grumman has also built new specialized ground support equipment that allows us to take the vehicle from vertical, like you see it out the pad, and take it back horizontal, which we did previously, actually last night. So this allows us to drive what we call a mobile clean room right up to the tip of the fairing, where we are able to remove the pop-top fairing and load time-sensitive research experiments and other perishable items that NASA needs to provide 24 hours before launch. And so with all this talk about cargo, the Antares vehicle is carrying approximately a little over 8,200 pounds of cargo to the space station aboard the Cygnus spacecraft today, which is actually our largest resupply to date. So we're very excited about that. And we at Northrop Grumman, we're really proud of our Antares 230 Plus rocket and the Cygnus spacecraft, and we're dedicated to continue to providing the best value to our customers.
Got that cloud corner for you. Hope you like it. Yeah, it took me a hard little time to make that thing, but at the end, it's gonna do something special. That's one of the things this clock that I like. So hope you enjoy, and I honestly can't wait for the launch. And if it's covering any launch signs, I am sorry, very sorry, but I can't do anything. So yeah. I know there's many other people like that. The space flight, so I'm absolutely sure I'm gonna get 0 views on this. But it's totally okay. That's not my method to do that. Anyway, I just like talking and I just like making live streams. Even though I was about to cry not to make this live stream. So, yeah. If you're enjoying it, and I wish I could do music in the background that I clearly own. I hope this video doesn't even get copyrighted. Please, everybody ask me if it don't get copyrighted. So if I get copyrighted in the video, I'm gonna tweet you. So I hope I don't. Like if someone else claims it, I'm gonna probably file a dispute. But I'm just scared to do a file dispute because it does possibly means the end of my channel, which I absolutely don't want. So yeah. There's a storm here in my place, and Virginia is awfully close to us, so yeah, they better launch that thing fast. So, I wish I could hear to what they're saying, but I can't, because I want to hear the launch. So let me hear what they're saying. What are they saying?
Stage 2 flight out of the external upper stack. So once stage 2 is clear of the upper stack, the stage 2 ignites for a 2.5-minute burn.
Oh, they have captions. Cool. So I guess I can hear now. Little.
And then Cygnus will be released into the desired orbit. So after Cygnus is released So we'll go through comm check and our booster separate. When we're ready, we can evacuate your natural space station.
So, if you can hear those thunder roars, yes, it appears that the storm's coming.
But in summary, it takes approximately Cygnus 9 minutes to get to orbit. So it takes some time, but it is pretty fast.
Well, Christina, we're looking forward to welcoming Cygnus aboard the International Space Station, and of course, we'll have you back to join us after launch as well. So do you have any final words before launch today?
No, I don't. Go Antares and go Cygnus.
All right, thanks, Christina. You just heard from Northrop Grumman, our Antares System Engineering Program Manager, Christina Halona. Stay tuned after launch for a post-launch interview with Christina again and an interview with Jeff Arend, NASA's Systems Engineering Integration Office Manager. Again, mostly sunny skies for launch today back at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport at NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia, and temperatures are now about 83 degrees Fahrenheit.
So the storm is making it hard to do this. Okay, back and live. 7 minutes. 7 minutes and 46 seconds and counting until the launch of, well, Antares. I'm sorry if I said that wrong.
Within that cargo is 3,078 pounds of crew supplies, 2,346 pounds of science investigations, 33 pounds of spacewalk equipment, 2,286 pounds of vehicle hardware, and 98 pounds of computer resources. Cygnus will also carry a new mounting bracket that astronauts will attach to the port side of the station's backbone truss during a spacewalk planned for later this month. The mounting bracket will enable the installation of the next pair of iROSA solar arrays at a later date. Now let's take a quick look at some of the scientific investigations traveling to the space station on this mission.
The hard thing about this is I don't know if it's a scrub or a hold. So yeah, this is pretty hard.
And of course, it's always exciting for the crew to receive new experiments, but they'll also have some extra goodies arriving. Also flying on Cygnus today are some treats for the crew, just to name a few. The crew will be receiving apples, tomatoes, kiwis, pizza kits, and cheese assortments.
CMD, yeah, you're good. Transfer Cygnus to launch mode. In work. Copy in work.
Coming up on 15 minutes from launch today, all systems are still on track for an on-time launch today at 5:01 and 5 seconds p.m. Central Time, 6:01 and 5 seconds p.m. Eastern Time.
Provide status of trajectory file for launch operation.
LC GNC1, trajectory file does not require an update.
Copy that. We'll check 403. And Ops 1 404 not required today, 405 not required.
Copy LC.
And Core 1 LC, countdown 1.
Yeah, LC, I've got step 394 for you. Fuel level does not require adjustment.
Roger that. Prop 2, step 395, arm OCCS for no adjustment to fuel level.
And OCCS AC/DC armed. AC/DC confirmed.
Copy. Check 395, 396.
And OCCS configured for no adjustment to fuel level.
Check 397. Admin be advised, step 398 not required. Step 399 not required. And launch team, we're coming up on T-minus 14 minutes. We'll be polling for our final countdown in about a minute and a half.
Just to highlight some upcoming milestones, about 12 minutes from launch, flight controllers will conduct a poll to proceed with the final launch countdown. In about 5 minutes from launch, the vehicle will switch to internal power. Then just about 3 minutes and 30 seconds before launch, auto sequence handoff for terminal countdown will be initiated, and that will mark the time the computers take over.
T-minus 2 minutes and 40 seconds and counting. The launch is happening very soon. I can't wait at all. Like, literally at all.
And so those constraints will be waived from 4,000 to 3,800.
And go ahead, CMD.
Yeah, CMD. Cygnus is in launch mode and nominal.
Roger that. We'll check 407 complete. And launch team LC on countdown 1 with poll to proceed with final countdown. GSO.
GSO, go.
RSL.
RSOs, go.
TD.
TDs, go.
Prop lead.
Prop leads go.
Stage 1.
Stand by, LC.
MES1.
MES1's go.
GCE.
GC's go. Sorry.
ACE.
ACE's go.
Mars.
Mars is go.
CMD.
CMD is go.
And LD.
I'd like to hear from stage 1 first.
Yep.
Stage
Stand
1
by.
is go.
But what I can see, it seems like my calculations are way off. I'm very sorry.
Northrop Grumman is proud to honor an accomplished NASA astronaut and the first Asian American in space, Ellison Onizuka. In our current challenging times, we reflect on Ellison's inspirational words. The people that make the world run, whose names will go down in the history books, are not the cynics, the critics, or the armchair quarterbacks. They are the adventurists, the explorers, and the doers of the world. When they see a wrong or a problem, they do something about it. When they see a vacant place in our knowledge, they work to fill the void. And today, we will do just that. Aloha to the SS Ellison Onizuka. Northrop Grumman is go for launch.
And a copy. We're go to proceed with final countdown. Check 407. Fly high, Ethan. Ops 2, step 408. You're go to start engine evacuation.
LC Ops 2, engine evacuation started.
And you just heard the poll to proceed with the final countdown to launch, and all teams are polling a go. And, of course, a tribute to Ellison Onizuka, who this Cygnus spacecraft is dedicated after. Now coming up on 10 minutes away from launch, and everything is still proceeding smoothly for launch at 5:01 and 5 seconds p.m. Central Time, 6:01 and 5 seconds p.m. Eastern Time.
Passing T-minus 10 minutes.
Once we get to that launch time today, the first thing that will occur is the Stage 1 ignition, and you'll see liftoff just a few seconds after that, and those main two engines will burn for about 3 minutes and 18 seconds before cutting off, and Stage 1 will separate. Cygnus will coast
Finally
for
hear
a bit
what
until
you're all hearing. Yeah, everything sounds good for launch.
The interstage adapter that connects the first and second stages will separate at about 4 minutes into flight, and then Stage 2 ignition, which is that solid rocket fuel that will burn for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Once the second stage burns out, we'll be listening for a call of orbital insertion at 6 minutes and 52 seconds after launch. The vehicle will coast for 2 minutes before Cygnus separation at 9 minutes and 9 seconds after liftoff. And at the time of launch, the International Space Station will be flying 260 statute miles over the southern Indian Ocean.
ATS VDMs enabled, voltage nominal, ODM commands clear.
And a copy all, check 410 and check 411. Step 412 not required for today's operation.
Now just about 8 minutes and 30 seconds to launch. Again, that next milestone we'll hear will be for the vehicle to be turned to internal power at 5 minutes out.
They are saying that the next major operation is for everything to go by the computer inside of the rocket. So, oh my god. And there's a beautiful Northrop Grumman sign. I can't wait for this thing to launch. This is honestly amazing.
Conditioning initiated. Passing T-minus 7 minutes.
Now inside 7 minutes, you've been hearing teams running through some of these final milestones, and the internal power has been activated. Again, it'll be switched over to internal power at the 5-minute mark.
Okay, copy. And when you come back up in 4 minutes, will you be ready to roll?
Hope so, stand by.
Okay, copy that.
LC prop lead, DTSO activation.
Okay, it says that at 5 minutes it will switch to internal power. And that moment is coming very, very fast. Let's wait for that moment to happen. And they will announce that. And when they say it, I'll be doing it. This is one beautiful launch site. And if you can hear the background work, just my family making some brownies, which I'm going to eat later. So, yeah.
LC Site Control, F Bay ECS transfer to GN2 confirmed.
Copy that, Site Control, check 417. T-minus 5 minutes. Ops 2, you're go to initiate engine priming.
Engine priming started.
Ops 1, transfer avionics to internal power.
LC Ops 1, all internal power on. Standby 5. And all external power off.
Internal power is nominal.
This mystic
Open NCS
vehicle
number.
has switched to internal power. Woohoo! Things are going fast as well.
You just heard those calls to initiate internal power for the vehicle, so internal power is now on, and all systems are still proceeding on track for launch just 4 minutes from now.
3, 2, 1, mark. Arm command sent.
SNAs, ODMs, all armed.
Copy that. T-minus 4 minutes.
Sounds good to what I can. Oh my god. Everything sounds good to what I can hear. This is honestly amazing. And that means we are on track for launch. I just think if they don't do the 3 second hold with a 3 minute hold, which they normally do for other launches. But of course that's some other launches for some orbital, of course that could happen. But this is a mission. This is important. That's what NASA live stream today. Like, I can't wait. And I'll be there when it launches.
Step 427, not required. Phase 3 dynamic limits will be active at T-minus 3 minutes.
FC commanded to flight mode.
Check 429.
Auto sequence start.
LCTD, we're green for all systems. Green for all systems.
ODM bus voltages and currents nominal.
Copy LEC 1, and I copy TD. We'll check 430, 431. GNC 1, verify ready for nav mode.
LC, GNC 1, orb nav ready for nav.
Ops 2, step 433, switch to nav.
LC Ops 2, orb nav, switch to navigate.
2 minutes and 30 seconds to launch, still counting down to that exact liftoff time at 5:01 and 5 seconds p.m. Central Time, 6:01 and 5 seconds p.m. Eastern Time. Tanks will be pressurized at about the T-minus 40 seconds until liftoff, and we will be counting down to liftoff from there.
T-minus 2 minutes. Mark. Passing through T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds. T-minus 1 minute. Mark.
1 minute and counting until launch of the Northrop Grumman Antares launch vehicle, which will launch the cryogenic cargo spacecraft to the ISS. Time is moving fast, man.
40 seconds until liftoff.
T-minus 30 seconds. Mark.
T-minus 30 seconds. Time is moving fastly at the site, at the launch site, and 15 seconds, 14 seconds, 13 seconds, 12, 11, 10, 3, 2, 1.
Antares launch vehicle, which will launch the cryogenic cargo spacecraft to the ISS. Woo!
The SS Ellison Onizuka now on its way to the International Space Station to deliver more.
And that was the special thing, you need to lift off. I was trying to just make it, you know what. Anyways, this is amazing. My first launch I ever seen of an Antares launch vehicle. This is honestly bad. But still, there's a thunderstorm. It's not that good. So, honestly, wow. I was just looking at the last one. We have liftoff. Liftoff of the Antares launch vehicle, which will launch the cryogenic cargo spacecraft to the ISS. This is amazing.
5 seconds. Passing through 40,000 feet, passing max Q.
First stage now passing through the area of maximum dynamic pressure. Again, this first stage will burn for about 3 minutes and 18 seconds until main engine cutoff.
All subsystems continue to perform as
The vehicle has passed max Q. That's a good sign.
mission time plus 110 seconds. Engines continue at 100%, core pressures nominal, all vehicle subsystems nominal, passing 120,000 feet.
2 minutes, 20 seconds into flight, everything's still proceeding nominal.
This is looking good! This is amazing, honestly.
I am seeing Mr. being, man, this is so good! Oh my god. I'm screaming too loud, but oh my god, this is a dream. And still the thunder behind me is horrible. But anyways, there's honestly amazing. Let's see how long this live stream lasts. How long that live stream will, NASA's live stream will last, is how long this live stream will last. So if it's not too long, it's not too long. Sadly, but that's just how life is. And but anyway, this is honestly amazing. Dream come true. Dun, 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 dun. Dream come true. I think I'd sing, but who cares? Spaceflight is amazing, and I love it. It's just, I wish I could go to space, but I can't. But this is honestly amazing. I can still see that dot, and now that dot is slightly fading away. Okay, now it's completely gone, but this is cool. Cool. Well, they changed to another camera. Did they have cameras on the launch vehicle? Probably not, because this is pretty much like a little like a military. Yeah, so wait, I'll be back. I'll be back after the break.
Antares is in coast phase, attitude nominal. Fairing separation.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And we have stage 2 ignition. Stage 2 will burn for roughly 2 minutes and 30 seconds. All systems continue nominal.
Stage 2 ignition is confirmed. Stage 2 is that solid rocket fuel that will burn for about 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Burnout will come at 6 minutes and 52 seconds into the flight today. And as we lose sight of the vehicle, we're now switching to animation.
4.5 kilometers per second, altitude approaching 140 kilometers.
Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
As you can see on the animation that the little animation that they put up on screen, this is honestly amazing. That is a Northrop Grumman, and that is a satellite. No, it's not a satellite. That is the cargo spacecraft. This is gonna dock into the ISS in about a day, I guess. Will it be covering docking? Honestly, I don't feel that it's like that's important. Unless it's like part of a really big mission like carrying humans. Yeah. Anyways, I had too much pain trying to put up this live stream, and I don't want to put more pain on myself, so yeah. Uh-oh, where's that blue stuff? I don't know. Is it bad? Is it good? Okay, I'm gonna listen to teams.
Approximately 1 minute to stage 2 burnout. Altitude 170 kilometers. All systems continue to perform as expected.
Okay, so the sign is just for the burn. Yeah, that's just for the burn. And I honestly can't wait for the burn. It's raining over here right now. Okay, I'll get electric shock. And I hope we don't run out of power. And then we want into Mexico. So, yeah. It's about to happen in 1 minute. So at about 6:09 Eastern Time. Or 5:09 Eastern Time. I mean, Pacific. Oh, there it is. End of stage ignition. And now 3 dots, which I totally don't know what they mean. Maybe those are the RCS testers. Yeah, I think they were the RCS testers. And right now, everything is good, I guess. The RCS testers are running fine, in my opinion. Yeah. Everything is looking good, I guess. One is stage supposed to be, 2 RCS testers have been turned on. I'm gonna listen to the teams and wait.
Attitude nominal. Antares continues to orient and prepare for spacecraft separation in a little more than 1 minute. All subsystems nominal.
Listen, the teams, it just, RCS is to orient itself. Soon the spacecraft will deploy in over a minute, so at 6:10, yeah, 6:10 is coming, so over 6:10, so we're gonna see stage separation soon. So hold on to your belts. It's coming. It's coming. I know it's coming. Yeah, it's probably coming. So
Stand by for spacecraft.
he said a little over a minute, so I'm guessing about 10, not 10 seconds, but about 20, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, or 50 seconds, anything like that. Stage separation is about to happen. I'm looking, everything's moving. RCS just turned on. Everything is looking good. I mean, like, I hope it is. I mean, like, I hope it separates or not. If it doesn't, it's gonna be. And separation of payload! Woohoo! The Cygnus cargo spacecraft is on its way to the ISS.
And Northrop
Congrats!
Grumman teams now celebrating the
Congrats
confirmation
to the Northrop Grumman team and NASA and everyone working on these projects. Well, that was amazing last week. So this is honestly what they're doing. Okay. I'm gonna listen to teams one more time and possibly more, but yeah, I'll be back in a little bit.
And GNC1, I'll wait for your call on status for step 445, state vector.
LC GNC1 in work.
And I copy in work. And site control, step 446, you can remove aft bay GN2 flow and reconfigure ECS to post-launch.
In work.
Core 1 LC, step 447, direct personnel to power off the MS ground equipment and report when complete.
Yeah, copy that, LC. We'll get that in work once personnel can return to the LEV.
Yep, copy that. And right, same thing for 448. Understood.
With that confirmation of successful orbital insertion, Cygnus is now on its way to the International Space Station, where it will arrive in 2 days on Thursday, August 12th, to deliver more than 8,200 pounds of cargo. Back with us now from Northrop Grumman is Antares System Engineering Program Manager Christina Halona. Christina, what will the Northrop Grumman teams in Dulles do here on the ground between now until Cygnus arrives to the space station?
Yeah, so the Northrop Grumman teams in Dulles has quite a few things that they'll be doing. So they operate the Cygnus spacecraft basically now that we have been released from Antares rocket. So from separation to reach from separation to destructive reentry at the end of the mission, the Dulles team performs various operations, including, initial vehicle configuration following insertion orbit, which include priming the propulsion system. They'll also have the solar array deployment as well that will be happening here with you soon here in about an hour, hour and a half. And then they'll also be planning and executing various maneuvers to change Cygnus's orbit to rendezvous to the ISS. So that'll be continually changing throughout their maneuvers to get to the laboratory. And then there's also vehicle system checkout. So we continue to monitor the spacecraft as well to make sure it's healthy and everything is looking great on the spacecraft. And then at the end, I'll finally perform vehicle configurations to perform the final rendezvous as they arrive to the ISS.
And looking forward to Cygnus departure in November, Cygnus will perform some secondary operations. Can you go over some of those?
Yeah, so Cygnus actually has 2 secondary mission objectives for this NG-16 mission. After it departs from the International Space Station, there's one that is a passive payload from NASA called CRS-16, and it stands for
going to
Consecutive
the ISS
Reentry
in
Service
November.
Unit,
It's going to
and the payload will be loaded
undock
into
from
the
the
pressurized
ISS, come
volume
back, and
instruments
we'll
with
have
the disposable cargo
lots
items.
of science
And
experiments
then
to
the
work with.
other payload is
Cool.
Purple, which is short for Prototype Inspired Payload. Purple is a Northrop Grumman built payload and will be tested and calibrated on while Cygnus's burst to the ISS. And the Purple payload actually requires 23 days of operations following departure to perform data collections and data downlinks. So we still have those 2 missions to complete after we are unberthed from the ISS. So Cygnus has a lot of work of it ahead until here in November.
Thanks, Christina. Again, we are looking forward to welcoming Cygnus to the International Space Station, and thanks again for joining us.
Of course, thank you.
And now joining us is NASA Systems Engineering Integration Office Manager Jeff Arend. Jeff, how important are these resupply missions in terms of the continuing resupply of this station and the science they deliver to the crew on board?
So I guess first off, hi, Courtney. But these commercial resupply missions are very important to continue the advancing science on board the station. Over 3,000 experiments have been conducted during the station's lifetime, which we're now coming up on 21 years of continuous human presence. On this flight, Cygnus is packed with more than 3,700 kilos of supplies, research, technology demonstrations, and hardware. In the tech demo category, we're really excited to add the 4-bed CO2 scrubber. It's an upgraded version of Seadra, which is our primary CO2 removal system on board. And for hardware upgrades, we're equally excited to be flying the 3rd IROSA mod kit, which will enable a future solar array upgrade in the future.
All right, and what's ahead for the crew on station once Cygnus arrives in terms of capture, cargo operations, and science?
So the Cygnus spacecraft will arrive at Space Station in a couple days, Thursday, August 12th at approximately 5:10 Central Time. NASA astronaut Megan MacArthur will be primed to capture the spacecraft with the Canadarm2, and she's backed up by ESA astronaut Thomas Pesquet. Following capture, the flight controllers in Houston will command the installation of Cygnus on the Earth-facing side of the Unity module, will it remain for about about 3 months. The crew will stay busy unpacking and conducting these research activities with the first several days being extremely critical for several experiments. The ones in particular are cardinal muscle, anti-atrophy, and cell gravity-sensing. The crew will also be preparing for a future spacewalk to install the mod kit on the P4 truss to prepare the station for that future solar array upgrade that I mentioned.
Well, it feels like
After this, it's just just interviews and stuff with the people. Even though it seems important, I don't want to go over an hour doing live from this, which I think I don't think so is important, and I don't want to bore you guys. So, well, that is it for me, and well, thanks for watching. And we'll see you on the next mission, Starliner versus Starship, I guess. I don't know what's the next mission. It could be anything. Well, that's it for me, and I'll see you on the next launch. Peace out.